You've built a strong reputation in your field, but deep down, you know it's time to pivot to something different. You've spent weeks researching roles, rewriting your resume, but you still don't feel ready to move. Because without a clear strategy, this change feels like guesswork, and that hesitation can quietly cost you time, momentum, and confidence. This video breaks down the exact 2-month process I used to map a career pivot from technical leadership into corporate strategy, step by step. So you can stop circling your next move and start preparing with clarity, intention, and a plan that actually reflects who you're becoming. I opened the notebook. Blank pages. I had 2 months to secure a commercial job. No roadmap, just resolve. The morning after the call, I couldn't sleep past 5 a.m. My mind wasn't racing, but it felt like I was holding my breath. Less than 12 hours earlier, during the reorg I spoke about in episode 11, I had told my manager I wouldn't return to Aberdeen. And more than that, I wasn't going to pursue the technical role being offered. I was focused on a commercial future in London, even if it meant walking into unfamiliar rooms and starting again. It felt like a bold move in theory, but in the cold quiet of morning, bold felt suspiciously like vulnerable. We sat in silence over breakfast. My wife's calm steadiness matched the swirl inside me. She wasn't afraid, or maybe she was, and had already made peace with the price of alignment. Her presence reminded me this wasn't just a career move, it was a decision to protect the life we were building together. And that's when I opened the notebook, not to journal, but to plan. The first step was hard honesty. What do I love? What am I exceptional at? What am I willing to grow into, even if it means starting from discomfort? I listed my strengths: integration, strategy, influence. I'd spent 10 years mastering upstream oil and gas, but it was time to pivot, using that mastery as a platform, not a prison. I also had an MBA strong digital skills and a track record of delivery. These weren't just scattered experiences. They were threads of a new identity, waiting to be woven into something grand. Once the list was clear, I moved. Quietly but intentionally, I started testing my value. Not just in my company, but in the market. Evenings became interview prep. Mornings were informational calls. I reconnected with old mentors, reached out to colleagues I respected. I didn't ask for a job. I asked for wisdom. One call still echoes in my mind, with a mentor who had once walked a similar path. He listened as I laid out my thinking, then paused and asked, "Are you truly ready to feel inexperienced again?" It wasn't a challenge. It was a reality check. Because reinvention sounds noble, until humility walks through the door. That question stayed with me. At home, my wife noticed the weight I was carrying. And one night, while I paced the living room rehearsing what to say in a conversation the next day, she looked up and said, "Just remember, this isn't about survival or trying to prove yourself. This is about becoming who we said we would be." Those words anchored me. I wasn't just planning. I was becoming. And that meant preparation had to go deeper. So I started studying all the strategy material from within the company. I rewatched old town halls, listened to leadership panels, trying to decode the company's future priorities. Not as an employee trying to stay informed, but as an architect, reverse engineering my future position. I discovered 3 core areas of integration. And in one of them, our commodities trading team, I saw a bridge. A space where my technical experience, commercial instincts, and digital edge could converge. It wasn't a perfect fit, but it was a potential one. And that was enough to begin. So I began mapping out a path to a job in that team. I watched hours of internal videos. I reached out to 2 people who had made the leap from technical to trading roles, then 3 more. Eventually, by the end, I'd spoken with 19 different people across that organization. Each conversation stripped away another layer of fear. Every new insight helped refine my direction. And with each step, what once seemed abstract felt more real. But this was the real shift. The more I prepared externally, the more I evolved internally. I realized that I wasn't just chasing a new job. I was becoming someone willing to speak to complete strangers, walk into unknown rooms, admit what I didn't know, and trust that I'd grow into it. As the 2-month deadline approached, I found myself back at the kitchen table. Same chair, same mug. But this time, I wasn't searching. I was ready. My wife looked at me gently and smiled. "You're different." She was right. I was. Not because the plan was guaranteed to work, but because I had already changed. And that was enough. Maybe you're standing in that space right now. 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 decisions away from something uncertain. If so, I want you to hear this. Preparation isn't just about polish. It's about identity. It's the sacred work of aligning your next step with your innermost scary desires. So ask yourself, what's one quiet action you've been delaying? Who's one person you could talk to this week? And finally, what notebook do you need to open? You don't have to leap without a plan, but you do have to move. And if you're ready to take that clear next step, I encourage you to subscribe on YouTube, check out the podcast, and join the newsletter at thefacelesscoach.com. Our community is specifically designed for people like you, ambitious, thoughtful professionals navigating the quiet but powerful journey from private conviction to visible leadership. Until next time, stay grounded, stay brave, and take the next step that was always yours to take. We at The Faceless Coach believe in you. You've got this.